A new pro-life bill to help protect premature babies has been introduced in Ohio, but it comes following one family's heartbreaking tragedy. That story is our pro-life focus, but I should warn you, some of these images are difficult to watch. 4 years ago, Ohio mother Amanda Finnefrock and her husband were elated with news they were expecting twin boys, their firstborn sons, to follow their first 2 daughters. But in June of 2017, just barely past the halfway point of pregnancy, Finnefrock woke up bleeding and went to the hospital.
When I woke up that morning bleeding, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know the difference between a level 1, 2, 3, 4 NICU. I didn't know what intubation was. I didn't know any of it.
Hospital staff told her if her twins were born before 22 weeks and 5 days, they would not resuscitate them. The babies would only receive care once they reached that benchmark. 3 days later, Amanda Finnefrock returned to the hospital in labor, now exactly at that 22-week and 5 days mark, to deliver her boys. But she says the neonatal intensive care unit made no attempt to aid her twin sons.
You guys are gonna save him, right?
In cell phone video captured by Amanda's mother and shared on Facebook, we can witness some of the tragic day's events.
Look at him. Please save him.
Her son Emery was born first.
I was under the impression that they would be stillborn. But when I gave birth to him, he landed on to the edge of the bed, and nobody helped him.
Emery lived for a precious 45 minutes outside the womb before dying. Elliot was born second.
Elliot. Hi.
Elliot was bigger. He cried, and he lived for 2 hours and 30 minutes. Both her boys had died.
When I first got there, they didn't tell me that they wouldn't save my children. They didn't even tell me that they would come out alive. They told me that they would be stillborn or breathe only for a moment. And they were quite misleading because they said children at that gestation don't live, which wasn't true.
Finnefrock tells me while she could not protect her twin sons that day, she wants to honor their lives by saving others and ensuring that NICUs provide proper care to babies. That's why she has worked with state lawmakers in Ohio to create Emery and Elliot's Law. It has a number of protections for preemies and their families.
We want to make sure they're giving out proper information because once I was admitted, there was no leaving. We want to make sure also that everybody has the proper training to intubate these small, fragile children.
Other protections in Emery and Elliot's Law requires a complete assessment of a premature baby's condition. It mandates the hospital, with written permission from the parents, will provide aggressive, life-sustaining treatment if the infant shows movement, makes sounds, has a pulsating umbilical cord or heartbeat. And the hospital can only discontinue medical treatment once parents consent. In what has been some good news for the Finnefrock family,
I did go on to have another baby, and he's going to be 3 this year.
Amanda and her son met with lawmakers, and Emery and Elliot's Law was introduced in Ohio last month. This Ohio mother has a message to state lawmakers as they consider this bill named after her firstborn sons.
These families are so scarred by instances like mine. I'm not alone in what happened to me. This happens, unfortunately, way too often. And there needs to be legislation in place to protect the people you represent.
Thank you to Amanda Finnefrock for sharing your story with us. Thank you for honoring your sons, Emery and Elliot.